So in this video, I'm working through my first couple blocks of the Kimberbell Digital Dealer Exclusive Mystery Quilt Wallflower. So first up, to get us started, was Cute as a Bug block. Is there a glare on there? I'm not sure. Super cute little ladybug. So, if you saw video 1, you saw my fabrics. I was able to go through them, take out the ones I didn't really want. It all fits into this super cute bag. I didn't talk about all the extra stuff because I'll be honest, it wasn't even registering that I was gonna need other things. So first up, batting. It's a quilted block. It's a quilted wall hanging. So yes, the batting is needed for the blocks. Also, stabilizers. This one is a mesh. Sometimes it is asking for you know, a sticky back or a tearaway or something. And then it also called for SF101, which is one side is a fusible onto a woven cotton. Trying to find the little paper for you. Pellon SF101 Shape Flex. It's an iron-on woven cotton interfacing. So it does call for some of that. So those are the 3 things I did not talk about in video 1. Because like I said, didn't even realize it. So for the first block for the ladybug, I was able to go through the charm pack, pulled a couple greens, and then here's my woven mesh stabilizer on the back of my background. It asked for the SF101, so that part's already done. There's my batting. There's my ladybug body. My ladybug wings, which I had to go through my scrap bin to find that. And then a piece of Shape Flex, which came in the embellishment kit. And we're making 2 ladybugs today. So this is my second one. And here is my first one, all complete. I don't know if you guys can see texture. So 1, the ladybug has that foam under her wings, so it's nice and poofy. 2, there is quilting. There's the back. So what does come with these blocks is quilting designs. So I quilted it in a green to just go with the green background. I used Glide Willow. It called for cream, and I'll be honest, I didn't really want it to show that much. So I went for that one, and it'll still work for that one. I don't mind it not really showing, but I do like that there's texture. In person, I can see it. The black for the ladybug's body, I did just use black. The ladybug wings, I went with one called Wildflower. You can see it here, but when I tested it out, you know, I just ran the thread over it. I had another one, Candy Apple, I believe, but I like this one better. And then you can tell my stitch lines, I just chose, you know, a contrasting color that for later on will tell me where to cut and place and all that fun stuff. So there's my ladybug, which is my Get Started Cute as a Bug block. And I'll get moving on the second one and come back and we'll talk about the January blocks. So here we are. Both ladybugs are done. I did do a reverse image reverse mirrored image. That way the ladybugs weren't going in the same direction later on in the quilt. These little blocks are the 4-inchers, and promo is the ladybug, promo is the ladybug. So if I would have left them exactly the same, they both would have faced the same direction. And so I took creative license, you know, and I made them go the opposite way, which I still think is super duper cute. There's the 2 different green backgrounds. This one you can see the quilting a little better versus this one, but that is okay. Like I said earlier, I really didn't want those threads to be cream and show too much. Then I got started on the January one. This one's called January Block. Doesn't give me an actual name. So pictured here, you can see they use like a peachy, orangey color. They use solids. We did get the rhinestones and the butterfly in the embellishment kit. Here is my version. I went with a little bit more of the yellows and the oranges because I did not have a peach that I liked for that. And then I actually used a print, and then I put that solid to cap it off. Still cute, I think. They used a stripe. I used, you know, a larger plaid checkery type. And still a tonal, like there's little volume. And then I found a thread. I tried out 3 different ones. This is the one I like the best. And if it focuses on that, it's a bumblebee. It is the cutest little quilting design ever. And then there's flowers, and then there's half, and then there's leaves. It's really cute. I'm quite pleased with it. This one is in the same direction as that one. Just like the ladybugs, I'm going to mirror the image. So my second one will go the other way. Give me just a second, I'm stuck. So if number 1 is going towards the left, number 2, I'm going to mirror it and have it go towards the right. So that came out of, let me backtrack. This one does have the SF 101 on it to help support it. This one came out of the Junior Layer Cake. This one came out of the Junior Layer Cake, which I'm using here. This one came out of the Baby Lock, which even though it had flowers on it, I was able to fussy cut out just a pink square, which gave me those petals. Neither of this one got SF on the back of it. Neither of these did. And then let's see. So that's the fat quarter from that Riley Blake bundle I was able to pull. And then this is what we got for the block to go into the hoop. Background with SF. Batting. First flower with SF. The 2 little flowers dark and the 2 little flowers light. And then for the threads, I'm still using the blue as just my placement stitch and the one that holds everything down. For the quilting, I went with what's called Pearl, which I thought blended quite nicely onto that background. For this big flower, I went with Jubilee. For the dark pink part of the secondary flower, I went with Taffy. For the light pink part, I went with Pink Lemonade. The stems and leaves, I used aloe for the dark and avocado for the light. For the inner parts of the flower, where the pollen sits. Why can't I think of that word right now? It called for a charcoal or a light gray, medium gray. I just kept it more tonal, you know, toned it down a little bit, and I actually went with what's called a light tan. For this guy, there is no fabrics. He is thread only. I went with lilac. And then I do not know why I have black here. Maybe I didn't use the black. I'm not seeing it anywhere. I think it called for black, but that's probably because we're going to have to get that button down. But those all get done at the end of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up number 2 and then get moving and grooving on the next, which is February. And February is going to be the mushroom. And February is going to be the snail, which on that one, I'm going to mirror image. I don't think the mushroom would matter much if I mirrored it or not. Yeah, I guess it would. Because of the shape going kind of, you know, funny over there, and then the mushroom rounding off. If I mirrored it, it would make them look like 2 different mushrooms. So I'm going to have to remember that. Alrighty, I'll be back. So here is mushroom number 1, all worked up. So super cute. I am in love with this quilting. It's got mushrooms, it's got snails. Hidden behind there, there was a worm. So this one, just like the ladybug, has that flexi foam underneath it, so it has some texture. They did a really nice design down here around the bottom of the mushroom. So this one took my mesh, the batting, the background with the SF, the flexi foam stuff with the top of the mushroom, the stem, and then this tearaway embroidery stabilizer. It went on top before it did the stitching for the dots. There's also, I chose to put SF on the back of this guy so that the texture didn't show through. I was afraid if I didn't, it might, you know, risk coming through there. So on this one, I'm going to do just like I did with the ladybugs. I have 2 different backgrounds in the same color family. I am going to change out my mushroom tops just to give it some fun. Just like the mushroom. Let's see if I can find it there. The 4-inchers go across these 2 sections. February we'll have a mushroom, and February we'll have a snail. So if I leave everything always facing the same way, but I'm going to go ahead and flip-flop things around. This one was kind of fun to pull fabrics for. I was able to get those, let's see, I went through my scrap bin for some whites. I was, you know, playing around with a couple different ones, but I actually really liked the way this ended up. The reds, same thing. I went through my scrap bin, just found some random pieces. As long as I got those cuts out of it, it worked. For the 2 backgrounds, I was able to use those layer cakes, which I thought was fun. And then this block called for the flexi foam, and then whatever this stuff is. I've never used this before. So it was just an embroidery topper. Colors, blue is my stitch, stay stitch, you know, placement stitch. background, I ended up going into my Isacord instead of my Glide to find this peachy color. It does not have a color name on it. It's just the number, 1362. For the outside of the trunk, sorry about that. For the outside of the trunk and the dots, I went with linen. For the red, I went with Desire. And for this detail down here, they had it in black, but I didn't want it to look like the ladybug. I wanted it to look more, you know, out in nature. Toned down a little bit, kind of like I did with the flower. I didn't put the charcoal stems. I put the, I think it's the same one I used. I put this one. So it's called the light tan. We'll get started on finishing up the second one and then work on those snails. So both mushrooms are done on two different pinkish peachy backgrounds. I did mirror image. That way they're not identical. They have the cutest little quilting on them. They have that flex foam underneath. Ta-da! I'm very happy with them. I think they're cute. Then we have up next is the snail. Isn't he cute? So there's a quilting design, which you can kind of see in the yellow. It has the flowers and the bumblebees versus the mushroom that had mushrooms and snails and worms. It has a jelly-like vinyl. You know, I don't want to say vinyl, but I'm not exactly sure. They called it, yeah, jelly. Green jelly vinyl. And that is a raw edge applique on top of the fabric underneath. So I did a white with a dot just to give it some, so you didn't see the background coming through. This little guy's got a darker brown shell on this lighter yellow. The next one, I'm going to reverse that image. The next one will be the stabilizer, the batting, this yellow as my background, the flex foam for underneath the shell, so you can see that textured like in the other two. This shell is going to be on the lighter side. And then there's that white that goes under the snail body, and then there's the green vinyl that goes on top. And the colors I used, the blue for my stitch placements. It's a couple different times. I'm using Dijon for the quilting. I'm using medium brown on both for the snail. Let's see, I'm falling off the screen here. This is blue. That's the quilting, which after running it across both, it was a really good fit. I'm using the medium brown for the snail design on both. So this will have a dark on that light, which I am perfectly okay with. It'll make them look like different snails. The green for both is going to be the avocado. The eyeballs, I used what's called pearl. And then for the eyes again and the little mouth, I used what's called cool gray. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up number 2. Alrighty, this is the last of these blocks. I'm super happy with the snails. I like that I have them similar, but different. I like that the yellows, you know, are in the same family. The browns are in the same family, but they're not identical. So let's see here. Show you all of them. Well, except for the wallflower, I ran out of stabilizer for that larger hoop to make the second block. So if you remember just a little bit ago, this one is much bigger than these little guys. So I had enough stabilizer for this hoop, but I did not have enough to run this block again. So I'll finish that up, but I just wanted to get this video out of here since we are done. So we have the 2 snails. We have the 2 mushrooms. Are they fitting in the screen? And then we have the 2 ladybugs. Super duper cute. I'm super duper happy. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Come on back. I'll have that playlist going. Since this is start February and January, I won't be back until March with the next set of blocks. Alrighty, have a good day.